Hello, AstroNuts. My name's Martha Lenio. I'm the crew commander here at High Seas Mission 3, and I'm here to tell you about some of the research that we're doing here at High Seas. There is a lot of stuff going on. Right now, we're in the lab, and you can see here is our garden, where I'm doing all sorts of different kinds of gardening for the crew, just the regular kind in soil. We've got some aquaponics going on, so we've got a fish and some stuff growing at the top of the tank, and we've got some hydroponics as well. Other crew members are doing studies on the microbiology of the habitat and of us as we live in isolation for 8 months. There's a 3D printing project, there's a robotics project, an orbital project. But yeah, the question from you guys was, what are the 3 most important research projects here that relate to living on Mars? So there's also, those were our projects. There's also a lot of NASA studies going on, and we discussed it, and we think that we don't see a lot of the results yet. We're just collecting data, but we think the 3 most important things that we're doing to help NASA understand how to select a crew for a mission to Mars is one project called the Team Performance Task. So the idea is that we have to get objects past barriers, and you can help the team by revealing barriers that you can see to the other people, or you can spend all your time just trying to take barriers down to the bottom and collecting them. So it's kind of like, how much do you help the team versus how much do you want to shine as an individual. So that's the team performance task, and it kind of helps them give a numerical measurement to how we perform as a team. Another one of the interesting studies that NASA is doing is called cognition. This one happens every 2 weeks, and it's a series of 10 kind of like games, mind games, pattern games, to test how quickly your response time is, and how good you are at problem solving, and how good your memory is, how good you are at solving patterns. So that happens every 2 weeks, and they're kind of looking at how our responses change over the course of an 8-month mission. Do we get sharper? Do we get duller? Stuff like that. And then the final experiment that we think is beneficial to how we would perform on Mars are the geology tasks that we're set. So every 2 weeks we're set a pretty big geology task that can be go and explore a new area near the Mars habitat, or try and assess the density of this area, the rocks in this area, to see if they would be good as insulation for our habitat on Mars. So we're doing all these kind of geology studies, and then we submit reports the same way that astronauts would send reports back to Earth on what it's like on Mars. And hopefully from that they can see how well we are able to problem solve as a team to come up with solutions to these challenges that they give us.
Mars has approximately a little more than a third of the Earth's gravity, which means we're not going to experience as much gravity as we would experience here on Earth. For example, if somebody weighed 100 pounds and they stepped on a scale on Earth, we would see 100 pounds on the scale. If we took that same person, took him to Mars, took the same scale, and had him stand on that same scale on Mars, he would be approximately 37 pounds. So you can see a big difference. Although the mass stays the same, our weight will change because the gravity is a lot less on Mars than it is on Earth. If we wanted to simulate gravity on Mars, we really don't have any technology at this point in time to do so. So we would have to actually get used to the Martian gravity and do all of our activities and tasks and missions based on that gravity. Unfortunately, that's the way it is today. However, in the future, if there is such a machine or a tool where we could simulate gravity that we would be accustomed to on Earth, then that would be the best benefit to humans. Since our bodies are used to the gravity on Earth, we would work a lot more effectively and a lot more smoothly on Mars if we could simulate that gravity.
Alrighty, so you guys wanted to know what we do every day. And for the most part, during the work week, we do about 8 hours of work a day. So we'll wake up sometime between 8 in the morning and 11 in the morning and basically kind of go to work. Some of us have workstations downstairs in the common room, and which is what you see behind me. And some of us prefer to work in our rooms where it's quieter and we can have a little privacy. So that kind of depends on each person's personal preference. For individual projects, we're doing everything from gardening to robotics. There's 3D printing and virtual reality. There's also, Alan is working on orbital trajectories for Mars, for Earth to Mars transits. And Jocelyn is doing a whole lot of coding, trying to get some information about how we live our lives here and what that means for our overall health and stress levels. Neil is doing a whole lot of work with similar type things, as well as some microbiology projects. So that's what we do during the day when we're at work. And after work, we're kind of like normal people, you know. We hang out, we have fun. We have a whole lot of board games, and a lot of us love to play board games, so we do that quite a bit. We also have a Nerf basketball hoop and ball, and we try to play that, but we're pretty bad at it. We need some lessons for sure. We also have a dartboard. We have card games as well. We have video games, we have an Xbox, and we also have a whole lot of movies and TV shows that we can put out on a big projector screen and all watch together as a family. So there's a whole lot going on in here. When we're not working, we have a whole lot of things to play, and when we're not doing any of those things, if we need to go outside, we have EVA suits and things like that. So during the daytime, we also do our EVAs, unless we're doing nighttime photography EVAs. And that just means that a couple of us go out in our spacesuits and we take a camera and we go ahead and we try to take really pretty pictures of the night sky around our habitat.
Well, the reason we have to have freeze-dried food here at the Mars simulation is because a real mission would take almost 3 years to get to Mars and back. So with this, the only other fresh foods we'll have are any gardening that we do. So we have just a huge supply of freeze-dried, shelf-stable foods. So it actually was pretty terrifying at first, but has turned out a lot better than we felt at first with these ingredients. So I'll just show you some of what we have and explain how we cook here and how much we enjoy food actually. So first, let's look at the meats. Here's an example of the freeze-dried chicken. So when you look at it, it's just like chunks of diced chicken that are dried. So we have to first hydrate it, and then they pretty much taste like normal chicken after that. And it doesn't take as long to prepare because it's already cooked. So similarly, we have ground beef, and we have sausage crumbles and ham, and same thing, a bunch of different diced types of protein. Then to supplement, we also have protein powder. So a lot of us use that after workouts and in between meals to help make sure we're getting enough protein. And then we have all kinds of freeze-dried vegetables and fruit. So here you can see here's some freeze-dried peas. So basically the same thing, you just have to rehydrate it really well before you start cooking. And they all turn out again fairly normal. The only thing is everything's diced again. So if you look at like our papaya, it's all diced. So we don't get to, slice into a fresh apple or steak or anything. Everything's always diced. So that is one big difference about cooking here. And then otherwise, we have different snacks like peanut butter, one of my favorites, and different dried fruits. So not everything is freeze-dried. Some of it's just dried, like craisins and whatnot. And then we have a large selection of different types of nuts. So that's about all we eat. And then we supplement with vitamins. So that's the main things. We have our proteins, we have our fruits and veggies, and an array of snacks. And actually with these ingredients, the crew gets very creative. So far, we really haven't repeated many dishes at all. We're just getting more and more creative as the mission goes on. And everyone seems to be fine and enjoying food here almost as much as they do on Earth. So freeze-dried foods are good. Okay, so here I am in the High Seas kitchen. You can see we have some induction plates that serve as our stovetop. We also have a toaster oven over here, and a mini fridge, and a microwave in this corner. So these are the main appliances we use to fix meals every night for each other. And we each take turns. We have a rotation, so each crew member has a night of the week, basically, that they're in charge of dinner. And then they have a sous chef who helps them cooking. So it's really something we enjoy here, is making high-quality meals for each other. And it's really nice to only have to cook once a week.
So I first heard about the High Seas program in 2012 before they started the first mission, which was a 4-month food study. I applied for that. I got to the highly qualified stage, but didn't make the final cut for the crew. And so I reapplied then for the 8-month and 12-month because I thought the 4-month was a little too short. So the application was send in a resume and write some short answer questions about why you want to do this and what kind of research you would do while you were here, and also some sort of basic health questions about food allergies, because obviously food is a big part of this study still. Then in the summer of 2014, we got the notification that I'd been selected as qualified again and went into a round of interviews and more surveys and stuff like that. So I had a Skype interview and then sort of personality test online so that they can try to pick the right kind of people for this mission. And after that, found out that I'd made the final 9 candidates, and then they sent all of us on a backpacking leadership course in Wyoming. Only 8 of us were able to attend, so there was 8 candidates for the final 6 slots. And they also sent a representative to sort of watch how we interacted and sort of get to know us a bit better so they could make a decision based on that. Then a few days after the course, or a day after the course ended, I found out that I'd been selected for the 8-month High Seas mission. It was a great day.